you guys if you want to see me take this Dremel to this hot toy figure together with a soldering iron to do some real damage. Please keep watching. Let's talk about the tools of the trade to do the real battle damage. Maybe we should take a step back and ask ourselves why. Well, in many cases you won't have to, but let's just take a look at this figure, and it looks pretty good, but if you use something like this plate, there's a lot of damage going on around the chest plate, nothing at all anywhere else. So for balance sake, I like to add some battle damage to other places to make it more realistic, make it look more interesting as well. And in cases such as this, where there's very cool detail underneath a part, you could try to open up and decide to open up a part to have a view through the battle damage of what's underneath, like you can do with the chest plate. Tools of the trade. If you're serious about customizing anything at all, a Dremel is a very good tool. I went through my first Dremel in about 5 years, which was the entry level, and then I decided, since I'm using this so often, I might as well get a good one. So the first thing I did was buy a cordless set with 2 battery packs, so one's always charging and one's always in use. Cordless gives you a lot of freedom, which is a good thing. You also need one that has that can set the RPM basically. Why? Because sometimes you need a high RPM to cut through things or get things done fast. However, in other cases, high RPM, usually when dealing with plastics, means that it gets so hot so fast your plastic will melt, deform, and all other kinds of trouble. So it's very important to know when to use high and when to use low RPMs. When it comes to parts, the most important part for me is getting this bit. This is this little chuck bit here that allows you, like any normal size drill, to put in different shaft diameters. And if you have a tiny drill set that comes with the Dremel, like this one here, that's a necessity to have, especially when you make very small cuts like 0.8 of a millimeter. That's not a big hole. You need this custom bit. The other thing I like are these speed click wheels for cutting. This is a good tool to have when doing the battle damage, but also when shaping other stuff like LEDs that need to change shape. I can show you an example of that. I have a few LEDs lying around here. So let's say I want this LED, but I want it as small as possible. Let me get rid of Iron Man in the background so the camera doesn't have anything else it wants to focus on all the time. So what I do here is turn this thing on. This time I'm going to use the high speed, and then you can use and voila, you have a small flat shaped LED that can do all kinds of cool stuff. I'll show you an application of that later. So I like these with the speed click cutting wheels. Another one is the the 561 multi-purpose cutting bit, which allows for plastic sort of routing and all that sort of thing. So this is a handy bit to have, the multi-purpose bit 561. Here you go, focused. And some more generic engraving bit. So the other tool I use, by the way, is my soldering station. Now, after deciding a couple of years ago I wanted to build my own amplifier, I decided to get a high quality one. This one allows me to use different bits, different shaped soldering heads, and it also allows me to set different temperatures. For this, I can set it to I have it to 150 degrees centigrade right now, which is very low for soldering. You would want something closer to 400 degrees centigrade Celsius. So for that, so this is a great thing to use when doing bullet holes. And why not start with that? So let's get the camera back. Here we are. I like the shoulder area for some bullet holes. So we're going to get our soldering iron. And because I have this low temperature, I have more time than average to just go in and slowly shape the hole. And now I'm thinking, some of you might wonder, well, if you want a hole, why not use a drill? Because if you use a soldering iron, the plastic will come up around and create this ridge that we're going to be using later to get the same effect that you would have if a bullet tears through metal. The metal would curl up around it, around the edges. So another one here. Like that. Now let me zoom in. Right there. Doesn't look like much yet, but we're going to get our paint again. The silver and black. Start with the black, like that. A small drop is enough. And we're going to apply the black to the center of the hole, like that. And then we get our other dental applicator unit thing we talked about in video 1, with a drop of the silver, and do that to color the edge of the hole, like that, and back with the black in the center. And voila, that looks like some pretty cool bullet holes to me. So that's trick 1. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Now let's get the Dremel. And you might notice I put it on the high setting, which gives me a little bit of that raised edge. And again, just put the black inside, like that. A little bit more in the center here. And then some silver on the outside. These edges are much slimmer, so take some more off the brush. Let's see what we do here. Get our toothpick and shape it while we still can. Yeah, and that looks pretty okay. So there's one example, and let's move on to the bicep here to do some more. All right, so with this shoulder pad unit thing, you have to be careful. You can't just cut anywhere because this central area here needs to stay intact for this mechanism to focus. Now, looking at this area here, I think some cool blue and brown wires with the silver would really work as an area that I would like to expose if I'm going to expose anything. So I'll be cutting into the sides. Again, using the Dremel. That looks pretty dramatic already. Now we get to go through. We twist open our drill bit with the lock here and get the multi-purpose cutting bit we talked about. All right. I'm not going to take off too much of the plastic because, again, those raised edges is part of the charm and fun. So let's see where we're at. Oh, that's right. It looks pretty good to me. Yeah. So we'll take our black and go on the inside of the cut. You see how I'm doing this around the sides of the cut as well? Not only because of the red plastic, but as I discussed in video 1, I also like that effect. So, like that. And I'm making a mess here out of off camera, so you have to trust me on that. And getting the silver on the other stick and taking the sides and the raised edge yeah, like that, and then shaping that like that, placing it on there like that. That looks pretty realistic to me, guys. Don't know about you, but that works for me. Now, taking you in close, looking at the bicep area, the shoulder area, and the chest plate, I say that looks pretty good. Alright, final touches. I don't want to make this a lot more dramatic. Actually, I've already taken a bit of creative liberty when I look at the screenshots, and this thing, there's no actual hole in this thing, but on the screen anyway. But hey, it's my figure. This is the way I like it. Just like I said, to get a little bit more balance, I'm going to do some slight scraping, like a slight gully in here. Please excuse my English. This is not my first language, but you know what I mean. And then maybe on the top of the leg, and then that's it. So here we go. So, take you in a little closer. And again with the paint. Isn't it magical what paint can do? Just a little bit of black and silver, and that big gash starts to look like something really serious. And like something real happened to some actual metal instead of just some plastic Dremel cutting. Yeah. Get some more silver on my brush. I'll be addressing these areas with my airbrush as well in the next video. And I've also decided to do an electronics primer, like a simple LED Electronics 101. Sometime later, I hope sometime later this week, so stay tuned for that. So here you can see the scrape we did with the Dremel, and there's the other one. So thanks for watching, and good luck with your own projects.